Will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Perkins Dusty.
Here.
Councilman Questa.
Here.
Councilman Grova.
Here.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Here.
Councilman Keenan.
Here.
Councilman Cedeno.
Here.
Councilman Mazza.
Here.
President Gall.
Here. 8 ayes. At this time, we all stand and with prayer and pledge allegiance led by Councilman Gonzalez.
Almighty God, as we legislate for our community, may a strong sense of justice and fair play permeate all we do. Above all, may we seek out your holy will. Give us the strength to follow it, regardless of all human considerations. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a special meeting of the City Council for the purpose of considering the appointment of a first Ward Councilman. Note that this special meeting was filed in the City Clerk's office and posted on the bulletin board on January 16, 2013, and a copy of this notice was sent to the Star Ledger, Home News Tribune, in compliance with the provision of the Open Public Meeting Law of the Open Public Meeting Laws of New Jersey. At this time, we have public speaking. Any resident or taxpayer would like to come forward and address the City Council in any matter. At this time, you may do so. At this time, please state your name and address for the record. Any resident or taxpayer would like to address the City Council in any matter, please step forward, state your name and the address for the record. You have 5 minutes. Thank you, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
I'm about to say Maria Etcheverria, 321 Westfield Ave, Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still going to be asking for things for autism over in Elizabeth. I think that this is something that is like kind of nationwide and it should be Elizabeth-wide, and we need a lot, you know, for special needs in Elizabeth. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Any resident or taxpayer would like to come forward and address the City Council in any matter? Seeing none? I'm sorry. Come on.
Good evening, distinguished members of the council. I have a prepared statement I'd like to read, so please bear with me. Dear City Council, we, the undersigned, collectively submitted this letter to encourage your consideration of Mr. Carlos Torres to fill the vacant First Ward City Council seat, which was recently vacated by Manny Grova, who now holds the position of Councilman At-Large. While there may be one more applicant and one more resident, we strongly believe Carlos is the most qualified and best suited candidate for the position for the following reasons. Number one, Mr. Torres has over 10 years of successful community involvement. Most notably, Carlos has exemplified his commitment and support of the youth of the city of Elizabeth through his many volunteer endeavors to improve holding the position of president of the Elizabeth Packers Incorporated, Part 1 organization. An organization that keeps over 150 young men and women of the city involved in activities throughout the year. His ability to mentor our city's youth and be an impactful participant and positive role model in many of our kids' lives has been unparalleled. Number two, Mr. Torres is a true entrepreneur and local businessman. Mr. Torres is part owner and operator of Carlos Trucking, a very successful family-owned and operated trucking business, which has resided in the city of Elizabeth for over 20 years. Carlos Trucking provides employment to many of the city's residents. Mr. Torres, many years of business experience affords him a much better opportunity to keep abreast of the needs of our city, the economy, and business environment. Being familiar with the business climate in our city is important when it comes to working Mr. Torres has demonstrated himself to be a dedicated resident of the First Ward and has committed himself to youth, families in the First Ward and throughout the city of Elizabeth. A husband, father, grandfather, local businessman and community, Carlos Torres is ready to move forward and continue the work he has already started with respect to building a better First Ward for all of its residents and the city as a whole. Mr. Torres has invested in our city, which we believe will give him the ability to make a good decision for our city and our children. In closing, the Elizabeth Democratic Committee voted on January 10, 2013, resoundingly to send Mr. Torres' name to you for the selection. The people have spoken. Let the majority rule and join with the members of the Elizabeth Democratic Committee in selecting Mr. Carlos Torres to fill the unexpired term of the First Ward of City Council seat. We thank you for your time and consideration, and I'd like to add, we had a petition which we compiled a total of 139 names within 1 hour and 45 minutes. I would have had more, Mr. Carlos, but I apologize. However, like your campaign was important, so was Obama's important. So therefore, I only got 139, but I would have had more. So, Madam Clerk, if I may submit this for the record, come on, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else, any resident taxpayer like to address City Council in the matter? Step forward, name and address for record, please.
Penny Meredith, 171 First Street.
Thank you.
I'm here as a representative of my community, the First Ward, and as the chairperson of the Elizabeth Political Action Committee, which is a committee of residents that was formed last year, in an effort to support our elected officials and also our community by sharing the needs of our community with you. As we've been meeting throughout the months, we have had conversations with several interested parties in becoming the councilperson for the First Ward. Our committee voted unanimously to ask you to support Carlos Torres. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come forward and address City Council and a resident or taxpayer? Once again, any resident or taxpayer like to address City Council in the matter? Seeing none, close this portion of the meeting. At this time, I'm going to ask the city clerk to read the letter from the Democratic Committee that was forwarded to us with the 3 selectees just about a week ago.
Okay. Letter dated January 11, 2013. On Thursday, January 10, the Elizabeth Democratic Committee met to fulfill the requirement according to NJSA 4816-11 to fill the vacant seat for the First Ward City Council seat. At this meeting, 4 individuals were potential candidates on being one of the nominees to be presented to City Council. They conducted a silent vote to see who the municipal body would decide will be the nominees for the selection of a successor to fill the vacancy. The outcome of our silent vote was Carlos Torres, 137 Court Street, 63 votes. George Judas, 227 Ripley Place, 44 votes. Sergio Granados, 101 Port Avenue, 43 votes. Diego Padilla, 220 Atlantic Street, 28 votes. The official 3 nominees selected by the Municipal Committee are Carlos Torres, George Judas, and Sergio Granados. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me at a particular number. Here to serve, the Chairman, Carlos Cedeno.
Council member, you heard the reading of your letter on January the 10th. Are there any nomination?
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, Councilman Grova.
Mr. President, it is my pleasure and honor to put forth as a motion to elect or appoint Carlos Torres as the First Ward Councilman. He's done a phenomenal job with the Elizabeth Packers in the Elizabeth Port community, which is a group that I believe can grow even further with the support of Mr. Torres and all of Directors. I have watched that organization grow over the last couple of years, and as the councilman leaving that ward position, I would ask all my members of City Council to support me in this nomination.
I second the nomination, Mr. President.
Nominated by Councilman Grova, seconded by Councilwoman At-Large Patricia Perkins Augusta. I'm going to ask that, are there any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I move that the nominations be closed, Mr. President.
Second. So moved. All nominations are closed. Since there's no other nomination, I will ask all the members of the council, since there's only one, this should be rather easy. Just vote for Mr. Carlos Torres. Do I call his name?
Before we move on that, I would like to say something regarding the name that was just put forth for us to consider for the First Ward Council. Mr. Carlos Torres, I had not known him very long. However, members in the Elizabeth Ward community, First Ward, came to me and asked me to support him. They felt that he was the best candidate in terms of his involvement in the community, his love for family, love for God, his overall demeanor as it pertains to conducting himself as a resident, his integrity, his just overall the person that he is. I got to know Mr. Torres in a very short time. My son had an opportunity to be a Elizabeth Packers football player. And then at that time I watched not only my son play, but also Mr. Torres as he interacted with the other players, as he interacted with his coaching staff, as he interacted with his board. He's a person of deep involvement, a lot of commitment and concern for the community. And when I acted as an irrational parent in wanting him to scold his coaches for not making sure my son's team was on top, he in turn just looked and said, they're coaching, that's what they do, and I don't interfere at this point in time. He has great balance, which we need on this council, and I'm hoping and I'm knowing that once he is appointed tonight and once he begins to serve, we will see a great change in the city council. So I welcome the nomination and I will be supporting the name wholeheartedly. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Mr. President, if I may?
Yes, Councilman Questa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I too join Councilman Perkins and Councilman Grova in supporting the nomination of Carlos Torres. But first of all, I think it's important to summarize briefly how we got here. And I'd like to commend Chairman Cedeno for the way he handled this situation, whereby he made it possible for all the community people in Elizabeth to participate. The nominations were open. As a matter of fact, he made sure that all members of City Council were invited to participate, and it was my honor being there. It was a very open process, the way it should be, Mr. President. Unfortunately, for example, the same thing did not happen when a member of the Board of Ed resigned recently, and in less than 60 seconds, they already had a replacement and no input from the public whatsoever. So I commend Chairman Cedeno for the way he handled this matter, and I was happy that people had an opportunity to participate. I was happy with the three names that were submitted to City Council. I know all three individuals fairly well. I have to say that when I met Carlos Torres, I was immediately very impressed with his commitment to the youth of our city. As a former teacher and former school principal in Elizabeth, you know, educating our children has always been important to me, important all my life. But I am one of those people who recognizes that it's not only important to teach our children to read and to write and and to do competition, it is also important to facilitate recreational opportunities, sports, and Mr. Torres has really exceeded in this area. He has done an excellent job. He has convinced me that he has a commitment to help the youth of Elizabethport and the youth of Elizabeth, and he has a commitment to work together with us so that Elizabeth continues to move forward. So I will be happy to cast my vote for Carlos Torres tonight. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else like to address it?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Councilman Sedan.
First, I want to thank Councilman Preston for his words. It was an honor for me to be able to run the process as the chairman of the Democratic Committee. It was pretty much my priority to make it as open and as fair across the board, showing no type of favoritism, but just giving everyone a fair shot. And I congratulate everyone that threw their names in the ring. How I mentioned even on that night, anyone that chooses to be in the front lines, to be a part of this process, it's not easy. So I believe all of us, we thank all the candidates that decided to be considered. But with that, it was very clear who the person the Democratic Party wanted. It was a resounding 64, 63 votes, now I'm trying to remember exactly. But it was definitely very clear who they wanted. Personally, myself, I've known Carlos for a while already, and I know he's a person of integrity, he's a person of character, he's a person that's a hard worker, and most importantly, he's someone that loves the city of Elizabeth. He loves working with youth. Myself, for those of you that have known, I've worked with youth in the city of Elizabeth for the last 18 years, and just to know that someone shares that passion, it's a great thing. And I also have to say, you know a lot about a person when you know their family. I know some of his family members. He comes from a great family as well. I believe he's a great addition to the City Council, and without question, I will be supporting him tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else? Okay. Before we just prior to us voting on for Mr. Torres, I'd just like to make a couple comments. I too, like the councilwoman, I did not know Mr. Torres for a moment, but I've gotten to know him through other people. My grandson knows him quite well, and I just watched him and observed him. And especially when I find someone that is real dedicated, give their whole heart, and work with the youth, I'm gonna tell you, you got me. And I observed that through him, and he had been working so hard with those kids, with the PAL and other youth, and I'm just so happy and proud of him doing that. And I think he's going to be a great asset to this city council member. And I'm just waiting for us to make the final vote, and we're going to welcome him to our organization. Thank you. At this time, roll vote.
I move that we move the resolution for a vote, Mr. President.
Move that second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perkins Dusty.
Aye.
Councilman Cuesta.
Aye.
Councilman Grova.
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Keenan.
Aye.
Councilman Cedeno.
Aye.
Councilman Mazza.
Aye.
President Gall.
Aye, 8 ayes. Congratulations, Mr. Torres. When you get a chance, I'll ask Mr. Torres to please step forward and with your family, and we're going to have the city clerk render the oath of office. When you get a chance, Councilman, Mr. Councilman-elect appointed. And when you get a chance, give a few hugs. That's okay. You get a few hugs. You get a few hugs, that's okay. Yeah, you want to bring your family member up, Carlos? Thank you. city clerk will render the oath of office. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. That boy come up. I'm talking about the photo. That's it. That up? Got to be plugged in, man. Plugged in. Try that. Yeah, use that. Just hold it for a minute. That's hold it.
Established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of Councilman First Ward, according to the best of my ability. So,
I can't hit me if I did this. Don't do it like that. Say Jesus.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, he can take a seat on there. Carlos, have a seat.
Person would like to say something.
Give an opportunity, a few minutes. Oh, okay. Yes. I just want to just, so we can make it all that you want.
We didn't have an agenda for tonight.
At this time, I'm going to ask the new appointed city council member if he would like to say a few words at the time.
Thank you, Mr. President. First and foremost, I would like to thank God. I prayed hard on this. Everything happens for a reason. I'm a true believer in that. My family, my father, my mother, my sisters, thank you for believing in me. My wife, my rock, thank you for your support. My kids, for making fun of me, practicing my speech. To my other family, the Packers, thank you so much. To the Democratic Committee, thank you for your support, and to the community and my friends. Thank you. This couldn't happen without your support. Thank you. And to City Council also, thank you for your support.
At this time, I need a motion to close the meeting. Meeting adjourned. Take all the pictures you want.